What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Simpson Built. Behind me, for those that are new to the channel and don't know, this is our 88 Civic hatch, all-wheel drive, K20A2, CRV trans, and today we're going to be starting on our engine harness, as you can see it on top of the car. Got everything laid out. I've already went over it, make sure everything's good on it. All the plugs are good. And a couple other extra wires they send us for a couple things, like if you want to use boost solenoid, which we will be using because we're going turbo. And also for your oil pressure gauge and stuff like that. They give you 3 extra wires. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on it. Go ahead and get our plugs and stuff connected and get the harness fed through the firewall. More than likely going to just end up using the stock hole for the harness to run through. Meaning, because it's already there, and our fuse box and stuff's going to be right underneath. So we're going to go ahead and get it all mounted up and see where everything's going to sit, make sure everything's going to clear with no issues. I'd still need to get my coil packs and spark plugs, stuff like that, injectors, fuel rail. My whole fuel system, I don't have nothing right now, brake lines, everything. So we're going to go ahead and get the harness thrown in and see what all we need as well. Of course, it's simple stuff. Now, as y'all seen in the last video, I did order this sensor that it has already shipped. It shipped probably, I think, maybe an hour or two after I posted that video up, after it got uploaded. So it should be here next couple days or so. We'll have it for this weekend. So I'm not worried about it. So it'll get here. Enough talking. We'll go ahead and get started. So this is where we're at so far. As of right now, I'm kind of not liking how this harness is ran. Just the fact that, I may not like it now due to the fact that it feels gawky right there, like it's too big. And this is the style that goes over top of the valve cover, which I'm not 100% sure if I actually like that right now. But we got reverse hooked up, vehicle speed sensor, got the coolant sensor right here for the side of the head, the intake and exhaust side for the cam sensors. Let's see, went ahead and got VTEC and all that hooked up, your VTEC power, all that. Got the oil pressure sensor plugged up, the crank position, the VTEC, that little sensor right there for VTEC pressure. Let's see what else. Went ahead and got the starter connected. No power wire for it, or the signal wire. So I got our plug right here up out of the way. This is for the engine coolant temp sensor. So I'm setting it right there. Right here out of the way, because it will be going right here. And these guys down here, you got your knock sensor, which, as you can tell, This got broke back whenever I was working on my storage unit. I can't remember exactly how it got broke, but I can't even use it anyways, which I'm not even worried about it. Uh, they got this style right here for the K20. Plug it up, or they give you the option, since these are brittle anyways from breaking. This harness did give you the optional of cutting this wire, splicing it, soldering it, and running this guy right here. And this will allow you to run your K24 knock sensor, which on the K24s, they're a lot thicker, they're less brittle for whenever the engine gets heated up, and pretty much keeps you from having this situation. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to end up cutting this guy, soldering that one, and then running the K24 knock sensor. Then we got our alternator plug, or the ground for the alternator right there. Do not have anything. I'm using my original K20 thermos or water pump housing, but with that top piece up there, we're going to be cutting it off, as we will not be needing it. And then we will be running I'm debating right now. I don't think I'm going to go K-tuned on something like that. Nothing against them. I have seen some bad K-tune parts for right there for the alternator bracket and everything. Carceps, they do make a relocator for the AC power steering delete and all that. So I will be going with them with this portion right here. I'll be trimming that top piece on the housing, and then we'll be able to get our alternator. I got it sitting over here on the shelf, and get it mounted up and finish this area up for the water pump and the housing itself. So there's your alternator plug. And you got this guy right here for your cooling fan. And these are the 3 auxiliary extra. So you'll literally cut this loom right here, and then you'll have these 3 wires exposed. And then you can run them to whatever you're needing for whatever needs. And you got injector plugs right here, all 4 of them, which I do not have injectors, as I stated before. And then with us not having a throttle body, I will be going skunk 2. So once I get that, then I'll be able to start installing all this, because you get throttle position sensor, auto control valve, map sensor, and then you got your intake air temp sensor. So got all these guys right here that will get plugged up, and that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's straightforward. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of this area, but once I get some cool packs and spark plugs, and then see where everything was set after I ground this guy off, get these plugged up to the cool packs, and then possibly look into getting a cool pack cover, and then it'll help hold that down. So I think that'll make it look a lot better. I mean, with it being up like that and then feeding through this way, it'll be a lot more cleaner like that after all that's hid, because I mean, I don't know, it's a touch harness. That's its purpose. That's what it's supposed to do. So it'll clean it up. It'll look a lot better. So now for the inside, we got plenty of room. So we got all this extra wire for inside the car, and I can run it however I want. And then this is our fuse box, power wire. And they give you enough to where you're not going to be having any tugging, trying to get some slack to where you can get this guy connected. Alright guys, so it's been a few days since I started with the engine harness and stuff, and couldn't really get any more progress done until this guy got here. So I went ahead and got it installed. I didn't do it on camera because it's pretty simple. This adapter piece from K-Tune goes in first, and I put, instead of using like Teflon tape, I use like a small dab and just ran it around the threads. I use Honda Bond because it's the best gasket sealer ever. It's just what I use. So I put a little dab around the threads, got that guy in there and tightened down to spec where it should be. And then the sensor itself, done the same thing, put a little bit of dab, like a little dab of Honda Bond around the threads, got him screwed in, and plug this little guy up. And that finished that. Very simple. Just now, I started working on the car, and then I just now decided I figured I'd pick up the camera that way and go ahead and get this video done and get it posted up and work on the next thing. A few things I did do off camera. Let's see, I got this guy pulled out. Now, reason being, I'm gonna try to cut this short so I'm not jabbering the whole time. This is the factory pedal assembly out of this car. Well, with this car being an 88, I can't use this assembly for my Hush Performance cable to hydro kit. And I bought the full kit, so it'll come with the clutch master cylinder and all that from Willwood. Come with the reservoir. It's the whole kit. So what I read up, he puts it in the description, that way everybody knows, which Robert's awesome about that. That's why I love buying stuff from him, especially when it comes to the EF stuff and conversion and all that. He knows his stuff. So can't use that. I got to use a 89 to 91 pedal assembly. So went ahead and pulled that guy out. Got my Downstar hardware for my post mount. Got them put on. For the meantime, just had these 2 bolts. I couldn't find the third, so it was going to have to be something done anyway. So I got the mount pulled off, got the hardware put on for the post mount, and then got the mount, everything bolted back up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this before I close the video out. We done our water pump housing and the wrinkled black. Not really wrinkled, but it's the texture like bed liner. Pretty much the same thing we done the engine bay in, like that. So we done in the water pump housing. Also, I shaved the auto tensioner off, shaved it down. It's not perfect, but I didn't know exactly how far it would get to this guy right here. So I didn't want to shave down and cut it too close and pretty much just ruin this whole housing. So with that being said, I got my washers there. Hardware is right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys out. Go ahead and get my Honda Bond out and seal up this water pump housing. All right, so we got the housing on, and I'm so glad I done this in black because it's really making that anodized purple pop. That looks so good. So much better. All right, so now we'll get the headlight housing and stuff put back on, and we'll show you the reason why we had to take that off. All right, so I'm holding this in place, and as you can tell, my little support mount that I made for the floating headlight setup, it was kind of in the way. So thankfully, I'm able to pull this guy off and give me all of this room to work with. So another thing I know I'm probably gonna run into an issue with, but we will work with it, is since we got rid of the auto tensioner, which I got over here, if anybody, any K20 guys that come off of A2, I'm not sure if it'd be any different, but if anybody needs this fella right here, I do have the hardware with it, the 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That works fine. Nothing wrong with it. Reason why we got rid of that guy is right here where these are gonna bolt up will be my, like what I was speaking in the previous videos. We're gonna be running the power steering and AC delete. So that guy will be right here, this bracket. So fingers crossed, I do not have any clearance issues between this bracket, which should, I mean, it'll bolt it up. It'll probably come out here. So fingers crossed, I don't have an issue with that. If I do, I can try squeezing it in there and kind of pulling my bracket back and give myself a little bit more clearance. If that doesn't work, then I may end up having to take and bending a little section out of that with this fella right here. It's a little line bender, and that's what I used whenever I was making those brackets. So we'll get it figured out when the time comes. Like I said, fingers crossed we don't have any issues with that clearance-wise. But if we do, you know, I'll always work around it and make everything work for the best. So the only thing I'm waiting on right now, like I said, I do got that the cable to hydro conversion kit from Hush Performance. They are, I think, 3 weeks behind due to him getting a new shop and everything like that, and getting all of the equipment for them to actually do everything themselves in shop rather than traveling back and forth, I think, from Arizona to Colorado, where everything was originally at. So he's in Colorado now, if I ain't mistaken. He moved from Arizona. But I'm waiting on that, and also water pump right here. I checked it out. Usually, I'm that type of guy, if I got it off, I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. But I inspected it, and it looks fairly new. Like it's not brand new, but the fins, there's nothing wrong with them. They're the metal fins, and it rotates freely. No noises whatsoever. So I'm gonna reuse that guy. I got on Acura's website, and once I got on there, I went ahead and ordered a gasket for the water pump so I can get it sealed up. And we got some fresh hardware for the water pump. Also, if you haven't seen on social media, got some brand new exhaust studs and nuts. So we'll go ahead and get these last couple, not 2 or 3 of them. I got a bolt over there, and then these 2 studs. Get those pulled off, and then I can have those guys to install. So we're making moves, guys. I've been slacking on the content, or actually just not really the content itself, just picking up the camera and finish some videos that I've got started. So I figured I'd go ahead and finish this one up and get it sent out. I know it wasn't much with the engine harness itself, but it was more of like a progression video rather than a how-to. I mean, everybody knows how to install an engine harness, and if you don't and you do get something like this, like I did show you, everything is labeled. So it is what it is. More progression. Now that I got all this stuff over here situated, I will have to come back over here and pull this bracket off, because what we got in the mail today before I went to work is, where is it at? I can never keep up with stuff. There we go. I hit up Hybrid Racing and went ahead and bought my heavy duty upgraded detent springs. So these guys will, you can see right in there, there's a bolt there, and then there is another one right over here under this guy, and there's another one right in this area. There's 3 bolts that pull out, and on the end of those bolts you'll have these springs, and you'll have a little ball. So the only way to really get to those is you gotta pull the bracket off. It's best to do these with the engine out of the car before you actually install it, but I didn't think ahead, and I really should have went ahead and bought these before I put it in the car, but it's no big deal. We'll just loosen these guys up, pull that bracket off, and then get these 3 springs in. There's 1, 2, and 3. They're just locked together. So big thanks to David over at Hybrid Racing for getting me those pretty quick. So we'll get those installed, and but real quick, before I close this video out, for those that are, for this adapter piece right here for the sensor, for your D series and B series coolant temp sensor, for the adapter itself, if you get one from K-Tuned, here's your part number. Go ahead, screenshot it. And for the sensor itself, I also got a part number for you. And that'd be this right here. And that's for your D series and B series sensor. And then, of course, the adapter does its job and allows you to run that sensor. So hopefully this wasn't too long of a video for you guys. I will be picking up on more content here soon, because, of course, you know, I got my buddy's DK outside. Got some stuff to do with it. I done started on it. Just been lazy with picking up the camera. Got the new pedal assembly that we gotta buy, either find one local or somebody on Facebook. If you do know anybody, comment below, or just hit me up on Instagram, Simpson_build. And we'll get that installed. We'll get our cable to hydro conversion installed. We'll get all that on camera. Some nice content for you guys, and keep this channel rolling. I don't want to die down or anything like that, but it is what it is. So I appreciate y'all sticking around and watching this video. Stay tuned to the next one and see what we got in store. I'm out. Peace.